Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
All right. It's that time of it's that time of week again where we have our contestant Joe take our Conduit for Action weekly quiz.
I've been demoted from producer to contestant.
You're now our contestant. I'm your host, Paul Harrell, as we go over the latest Conduit for Action quiz. Now, this particular quiz is still in line and in keeping with the Knowledge is Power Arkansas Government 101 series of quizzes. This one over the executive branch. Now, Joe, I have a few updates before we get to the quiz. Some things to go over because this segment has just been rebranded a little bit.
This is the CFA game show.
All right. So, yeah, the Conduit for Action game show. Here it is. All right. So, when you hear this sound, Joe, it means you're out of time. Okay, that's going to mean that we're going to need an answer, okay?
I immediately don't like this because this gives you an arbitrary time of whatever. Joe looks like he's thinking the most. Let's mess with him.
Okay, well, listen. If you this is life, okay? All right. If you get an answer correct, when we go back over the answers, you will hear this sound. Okay. Now, if you get an answer wrong, you're going to hear this sound. Okay, so that's what you need to know going in. All right. So here we go. Question. Now go ahead and click on it. Knowledge is power. Let's go to the first one. The executive branch is one of three branches of Arkansas government. Arkansas Constitution states which offices there will be in the executive branch. These are referred to as constitutional officers and are elected by the people every 4 years. The role of the executive branch is to implement the law, but they do not make the law. They may make regulations and rules, but these can be overridden by statute from the legislative branch. Under the Arkansas Constitution, the governor has, quote, the supreme executive power of this state, end quote. Take this quiz below to learn the structure and practice of the Arkansas executive branch. Now, interestingly enough here, Joe, just for all of our listeners back out there, you can go to conduitforaction.org and you can take the quiz yourself. Question number 1. How many state constitutional offices does Arkansas have? Examples, like the lieutenant governor or the governor. Is it A, 3, B, 5, C, 7, or D, 10? And take time and think it out, Joe.
Okay, so it's. I think there's more than 3. Because it already gives 2, which were already in my head, the governor and lieutenant governor. And then Secretary of State, because we had Mark on yesterday. And then I'm pretty sure Leslie Rutledge is a constitutional officer as well, which means that there's going to be more than 3. I'm going to go... actually, I'm stuck between 5 and 7.
All right. That sound, unfortunately, means that you are out of time. Going to need an answer, Joe. I'm going to need an answer. 3, 5, 7, or 10. I'm going to see I have no enforcement mechanism. I have
the power here.
I'm going to need an answer, Joe.
I'm going to go with 5.
Going with 5. Okay. All right. So, question number 2. Which of the following are the constitutional offices for Arkansas? Choose as many as you think you are. Now, let's go over this, because this is interesting, and you can't go back and change your answers, Joe. Go ahead and relax it out. All right. Is it the governor? You can check the governor, the chancellor, the attorney general, the land commissioner, the secretary of agriculture, economic development commissioner, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, treasurer, auditor, or chief justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. Those are your options.
Okay, so I got governor already out of the way. There's not a chancellor. The supreme chancellor. That doesn't exist.
The supreme chancellor of the Galactic Federation.
Yeah. The attorney general.
Galactic Empire, rather.
Yeah, already kind of. Yeah.
So you're saying that the 5 constitutional officers are governor, attorney general, lieutenant governor, secretary of state.
I haven't picked my 5th one yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Oh, that's good because that sound means that you're out of time, and we're going to need an answer. We're going to need an answer.
That's my answer. I'm sticking with what I had before with 5. And I'm going with that.
All right. Question number 3. Who is the head of the Arkansas executive branch?
The governor, Asa Hutchinson.
Okay, there we go. Question number 4, unfortunately, to the dismay of many true conservatives. Question number 4, according to the Arkansas.gov website, this is good. I like these are the questions. This is the real meat and potato questions right here. Very educational stuff by Conduit. According to the Arkansas.gov website, how many commissions does Arkansas state government have? Examples like the Arkansas Economic Development Commission or the Ethics Commission.
Okay, so I'm going to go with what I know about.
Does that stress you out, that music at all?
A little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go with what I know about the government.
Think it out now. Sound it out now.
That resides over me. Definitely not 10. I feel like 27 is too small. I'm going to go with 42.
All right, so your options here are 10. Go back up. Your options here are 10, 27, 42, and 53. So you're saying that there are 42 commissions under the executive branch.
I feel like 10 is way too little for the people that have been put in power over the last however long. The 27 still seems a little small to me. 42 seems about right. 53.
You think 53 is too much? Okay, all right.
We're not necessarily too much. It's just 42. I feel like it's just a good.
Just going with the old
number.
ACT advice and just picking C.
No, that's just a good middle of the ground number.
Okay, all right. What do we have here? Question number 5. According to the Arkansas.gov website, how many departments does Arkansas state government have? Departments. So this is different than commissions. Examples of departments would be like the Department of Education, the Emergency Management Department, stuff like that. Sound it out now, Joe. Think it out. Sound it out.
Cool.
Is it A12, B32, C40, or D47?
Again, operating off the same assumption from the last question, I'm actually going to go 47 with this one.
Okay, so you're going with D.
I feel like we have a lot of unnecessary departments.
Okay, it's a good thing because that sound means that you are out of time.
See what I said, ladies and gentlemen? Arbitrary moments where Paul just decides you're out of time.
No, I mean, this is me. It's the computer. It's an AI. It's she's listening in. Her initials are MG. Okay, question number 7. Now I like this next one. Oh, are we on 6?
Yeah, we're on
okay.
6.
Question number 6. Sorry about that. According to the Arkansas.gov website, how many boards does Arkansas state government have? Examples for this would be like the Board of Public Accountancy, Auctioneers Licensing Board. You have to be licensed to be an auctioneer. All right. What do you think,
I'm
Joe?
just going with 77 on this one.
You're going with D. All right, sorry. A22, B37, C51, or D77?
Because we've had a conversation with this that we have a lot of licensing boards, more than I think the most out of any state, or we're real close to the highest number in any state, and 77 seems like an absurd amount for no reason.
Okay.
And I think
sound means you're out of time. So.
Yeah, I've already got my answer.
Okay, so you're going with 77. All right, now question number 7. Question number 7 is, according to governing.com, how many full-time equivalent employees did Arkansas state and local government have in the year 2014? Was it A, 12,064, B, 27,891, C, 45,567, or D, 71,048? Full-time equivalent employees, according to Arkansas.gov. Don't need an answer yet because we haven't heard that sound. 12,000, 27,000, 45,000, or 71,000.
Considering we need so much money to run our government compared to all the states around us, I'm going to go 71,000.
All right, that sound means you're out of time. 71,000. Question 8, have you subscribed to the Conduit for Action email list? You have. What city do you live in? You live in the town of Jonesboro. What are your results? We're going to go over
Not very good.
How do you know?
I just have a feeling it's not very good.
All right, let's see here. What do we have? 61.5%.
I had a feeling that it was 7 and not
So
5.
question number 1, how many state constitutional officers does Arkansas have? You said B, 5.
I had a feeling it was
Correct
7.
answer was 7, C. That sound means that's a wrong answer.
Well, the next one I get partially correct.
Okay, partially correct. Okay, which of the following constitutional offices for Arkansas? See, which of the following are the constitutional offices for Arkansas?
I didn't know land commissioner was a constitutional office.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we interviewed Tommy Land.
I knew we did.
For land commissioner.
Yeah, I knew. I just didn't remember if it was a constitutional officer or not. I didn't think it was.
Okay, all right. So you got governor right, obviously, attorney general right, land commissioner incorrect. So you picked 4. Okay, I see what you did.
5.
So the wrong one is that you thought that the Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court was a constitutional officer.
Honestly, I had no idea who my 5th person was going to be from my answer previously.
So now the reason that's wrong, Joe, just logically, is just because
part of the judicial branch.
It's part of the judicial branch, and so it's three equal branches here.
So more of a shot in the dark, that was unnecessary.
So you were going to get this wrong because you said that there were 5 constitutional offices, and there's 7.
Yep.
Auditor, treasurer, secretary of state, lieutenant governor, land commissioner, attorney general, governor, and a partridge on a pear tree.
Looking back, auditor seems like a better answer than Supreme Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court, but treasurer, that's a constitutional office.
Yep, that would be Mr. Dennis Milligan, the treasurer of the state of Arkansas.
Office. Why isn't that just someone's like, you get this job?
Yeah, I know. I really want you to get one right. So what's your next thing?
All right, the next one right.
Who is the head of the Arkansas judicial branch?
No, executive branch, not judicial.
Executive branch. Sorry. You got that one right, Joe. Congratulations. It was the governor, the head of the executive branch. Sorry, that was last week's quiz.
Many people's current dismay.
You got it right. All right, so next question 4. According to the Arkansas.gov website, how many commissions does Arkansas state government have?
And the Arkansas government continues to push the bounds of what I think.
Yeah, I know. That's true. You chose 42.
But I was in between 42 and 53 because
the correct answer is 53. Yeah. So that's for you. Sorry.
No. That's to the Arkansas state government. Boo to you guys for 53 commissions. Unnecessary.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that nuts? Question number 5. According to the Arkansas.gov website, how many departments does Arkansas state government have? You went with the highest number on that one. We have 47 departments in the executive branch.
Yeah, and I say, no. Play the booing sound. Play the booing. Play the booing.
You want the booing?
Yes, because, again, boo on you, Arkansas state government.
Okay. Well, all right, so it's boo on the government, but good for Joe.
Yeah.
All right, question number 6. According to the Arkansas.gov website, how many boards does the Arkansas state government have, like the Public Accountancy Board or the Auctioneers Licensing Board? You chose D, 77. That is correct. 77 boards and licensing authorities. Unbelievable. Of course, the boos go towards the actual Arkansas state government because they are the terrible stewards of the power we've given them.
For those out there who didn't know about this, or we're trying to make a defense that the Arkansas state government was not regulating us. 77 boards for licensing. That's a regulation if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
And it's
just
pretty much
the fact of the number. Yeah.
Yeah, 77,
like that,
77 licensing boards for different types of jobs for the most part.
Why shouldn't they just go ahead and codify it? Like pass a law that says there must be 77. You know what I mean? But I like what you're saying. You're essentially looking at the fact that this is the state, and this is the squandering of an opportunity. Ace has been there for 3 years, and look at that number. That's insane. That's more than the state of New York. That's the statistic, Joe, that you've heard me say before. Yeah. We have more licensing boards than the state of New York. Okay, question number 7. I'm interested in this one. Is amazing. According to governing.com, how many full-time equivalent employees did Arkansas state government have in 2014? You went with a high number. The correct answer was, in fact, D, with 71,048. But
how many of those 71,000?
That is insanely too high, Arkansas state government.
How many of those 71,000 people actually do something?
Well, that's a good question.
How many of them get paid to just sit in a cubicle and look at files that mean nothing?
There are hardworking government employees. We've talked to some of them.
I have no doubt. Like Dan Sullivan, hardworking government employee.
Well, when you look at, stuff like, I would say the $8,000 it takes per person to run the government, or almost $8,000 compared to the $5,000. I'm surprised those numbers.
Whenever this question came up, I was trying to do the math in my head, kind of guesstimating, because I was like, the number.
It
was like $8,000 per person, and there's like 3 million people in Arkansas.
Yeah,
it's like
how many people would that be?
How many can I
I see. I can't do math like that in my head.
I didn't get a number in my head. It was too many zeros.
So that was the last question, right? And you got that right.
Yeah.
So how many questions did you get right out of the 7? 2, 3? You got 3 out of 7?
Well, okay, so darn it.
Yeah.
There was
61.5%.
8 of 13, because each one of the when I had to choose
the constitutional officers, you got points for everyone.
Yeah,
so
you got 4 out of 7.
Okay, so 8 out of 13. You made a D.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry to do this to you, Joe, but I mean, you got a D. Hey, the good news is that you now know. You know? All right, folks, that about does it. That's
Knowledge is power.
Conduit for Action game show, the weekly game show where we go over this quiz, Government 101. Who knows what we're going to do next? Who knows how it's going to end? Thank you to our contestant, Joe. I'm sure next week we're interviewing another contestant named Joseph. I'm your host, Paul Harrell, and we'll be back in just a moment.